I want to give him a shout out. Luke motherfucking Nukem, aka Luke Franklin. He drops quality content on there. He was dropping a little video the other day, and he said that he was excited to hear the marriage, if you will, of Slasher Dave and the motherfucking AEXE. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, and stay tuned to his YouTube because your boy created a little intro and outro music for him, and I'm sure he's going to be dropping that soon, so peep that shit.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Luke the Goon, a.k.a. Luke Nukem, and thank you for coming back. As you just saw in the last Alla Xul Elu live stream, Lee Carver gave me a huge shout-out. Those guys have always been super supportive of the channel. They actually watch my videos, which is still crazy to me. It's huge thanks. It blew my mind to actually get that shout out. And as you heard at the end of the clip, I did work with Billy Obey a little bit in getting a beat for my channel. I've got an intro and outro. The intro is it's probably going to be a little ways away just because the vision I have in my head is so grand that it's going to take me a while to cut all of it together. The outro should be ready soon-ish. It's not something that I picture being too difficult to put together. Just requires a little bit more time on my end. But, with that out of the way, I actually want to talk about a little bit about some news. And the Isolator has come in. I was super excited about it as soon as I saw it, but I'll get into that at the end of the video. First, I want to talk about that live stream. In the live stream, they talked about the upcoming album, which is coming in October, as I had previously kind of guessed. I mean, they pretty much outright told us it was coming in October. They mentioned that they have 5 singles coming, and this is being recorded in May, so that's enough for a single every month. Whether or not they drop it that way, I don't know. It would be dope if they did, but I'm not sure. And then they have 3 albums in the works. They've got the upcoming one in October, probably Venomous 5, and then the 3rd album is kind of a mystery. Is it Psycho Volume 2? Is it, kind of another Church of Zool project? Something else? We have no idea what that 3rd kind of secret album is. Heck, we don't even know if the one is Venomous 5. We're just kind of hoping. So, that's it. In terms of kind of the big AXE news that came out of that live stream. They mentioned a lot of other cool stuff that they've got planned. I'd recommend going to watch the video on Facebook. Their live streams are always entertaining as hell. But a little bit of Slasher Dave news. I've been watching and listening a lot to his music recently. And he just released his new album, Cannibal Death Gods. Right now it's on all digital platforms. He hasn't done a physical release for this album yet. He's going to do a double album release. This is an album that he worked on during his Instagram live streams with all his fans listening, and he recorded and wrote the album over a real short period of time. It's all based on cannibal films, Italian cannibal films, and then at the end it starts to get into a little bit more of a kind of Italian zombie film kind of thing, kind of like Fulci and Fabio Frizzi thing, and it's a really good album. I really dig it. The transition is seamless. I've seen a lot of people kind of curious what his sound is like. A lot of people seem to be really stumped by Slasher Dave, what you would call his music. And the best way that I would describe it to somebody who's, not familiar with the style that he has, it's basically horror movie soundtrack music. He basically writes music for movies that do not exist, or movies that exist, but maybe an alternate universe soundtrack for a movie. I've actually been going back and this is just a little bit of a mailbag update. Going through and picking up some of his old music. There's the Exorcisms. This is all The Exorcist and the weird kind of exorcism exploitation movies that came out at that time. Hauntings, I don't know too much about Hauntings, but it was cool, and it was only a couple bucks. I picked that up. And then Lunatic. The other crazy thing about Slasher Dave is he's a super talented artist. Like, he did all this artwork. All this artwork that I'm about to show you on these albums, it's all done by Slasher Dave. He's like crazy. And then this one is I think this is his take on Halloween. If you look in the windows on there, there's Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, and in the top window you can see the little kid from Halloween 3. And then I think this was his first. I think this is his first album, Tomb of Horror. And I've been listening to a lot of Slasher Dave lately. He actually also does some really cool Instagram lives where he talks about a lot of his, music and previous stuff and all that. He's actually an old school juggalo. And when I've watched him, he's actually been breaking down some of ICP's old, like, Ringmaster, Two Dopes, Fuck Off, and it's really interesting, especially to hear from somebody who was kind of taught by Mike E. Clark, to hear him break down the old school ICP stuff. It's really cool. And I guess the last with the Slasher Dave kind of news is that he also dropped a Patreon. Super cheap. He hasn't put a whole lot up on there because he literally just started it. But he's got a couple cool tracks up there. I know one of the kind of fun things that he added was his own version of the classic John Carpenter Halloween music. He kind of added a little bit more edge to it, I guess I would say. It's pretty cool. So if you want to support Slasher Dave, I'll have some links in the description. I'm actually kind of hoping that maybe I can get an interview or something with him. That's just pie in the sky, but I would really like to talk to him because he seems like a really cool guy. And the funny thing is I've probably been in the same room as him over 100 times. I'm not even kidding. He goes to a convention that I go to, a really small kind of local convention called Cinema Wasteland. And I never even knew about Slasher Dave until now. So it's really kind of like, oh, damn, I wish I knew like 10 years ago, who he was. And then I guess the last bit of news that I want to get in before I get into the Isolator is Forever Face Alley. If you guys don't know, here on my YouTube channel, I was made a mod there a couple months ago. And the group has exploded since we started kind of focusing on growing that group and getting it going. I just want to say, we got shirts now. We made it to the big time, Ma. And, all the proceeds from the shirts go to a huge giveaway that you guys are going to want to be a part of. It's going to be killer. The reveal is going to be... It's going to flip some wigs. You'll be really surprised by what happens. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, anyway, let's get into what you probably all been waiting for, the Isolator. This one was, it's funny, this was shown off on a live stream by Billy Obey. I believe it was the one where he did the giveaway for the 2.1. And it actually had a white strap on it, which I thought was really cool. And it went on sale on April 5th. And this is actually the most successful Forever Face release to date. It sold out in 12 hours, which is crazy. And as soon as I saw this mask, I knew this is one of those that I saw the colorway for. And I went, I need that one. Sometimes it's like, that one's kind of cool. I'll pick it up. It's cool. But this one, as soon as I saw the color, I was like, I need it. And they sold out very, very fast. Way faster than I thought they would have. So let's just break into it real quick. I didn't cheat But with this one, I pre-opened it just a little bit so that I could make it really easy on video to open it up. Because previous ones, you may have seen me with like a big ass knife and shit just to open them. So here's my certificate of authenticity. This is the one thing you'll get with every mask that you buy from Zulmart. The ones you buy in Fur Face Alley, you might not get one. It depends if the person kept it around. Because these are just a little kind of piece of cardboard that Billy throws in there with his signature. And here we go. They always come in these little bags. As you can see, it's the Isolator. And this one, I've mentioned this before, has got the different. This one, I've said before, they have two different straps that he uses. And this one has gotten kind of the, I guess I'll call it the outie. There's basically the outie and the innie. And this is the outie. And I have decided that I'm going to try on all of these masks when I get them. Because I guess one of the common questions that I get sometimes when I open these is, how does it fit? And because I think the Barf was notoriously big. And even though Lurker, I think, was on the bigger side, the sizing is always a little bit different, and I have a really big head, so take that as you will. But obviously, if it fits tight on me and you have a smaller head, it's all relative. So let's see. Ooh, this one's actually almost perfect, I'd say. It's definitely not as big as the Barf came out, and it's definitely but it's definitely bigger than, I would say, the 8-bit. The 8-bit for me was the smallest one that I've tried on so far, and then I would say Barf was probably the biggest. Lurker was a little bit smaller. It kind of feels like he's playing around with the sizes maybe a little bit to kind of get like a perfect fit. Then again, Tom might be just just throwing the straps on there, whatever, because they're not all uniformly sized. He hand paints all of these. All these get hand painted. All of them get hand done. The colors on this mask. This is actually another one where I would say the prototype colors came out really close to what the finished product looks like. A lot of times I've talked about it in previous videos where the masks in the images look a little bit different than the final product. A lot of times they pop a lot more in the final product. Like the Lurker is actually a little bit of a different case where the prototype images looked very, very Lakers inspired, and then the final product came out a little bit darker. Still Lakers, still look kind of Lakers, but the purple was so dark looking purple that it almost looked blackish. But then something like the Barf looked, just kind of yellow and orange, but like when you got it, it popped like crazy. This one is perfect. This is probably my favorite Forever Face 2.0, minus my Blood Soaked, of the ones that I've gotten so far. And the Horned actually has grown on me a lot too. That was a weird one that I wasn't sure that I really was into or whatever. Oh yeah, and one last thing I wanted to mention about the Isolator before I get into some of the stuff and close this all out is that I have a theory about why they call this one the Isolator, and I think it was because pre-MNE they did a bunch of releases of smaller masks, a smaller run of masks, I should say, and one of them was called I See You Die, and this one is called Isolator. So I don't know. Is that related? I don't know. As soon as I heard the name for this one, I thought, oh man, that sounds kind of like the I See You Die, like I See You Later. I don't know. Well, is it related? Is it not related? I don't know. I like to think it was. Yeah, so that, that'll cover pretty much my review of the Isolator. I mean, this thing is dope. I mean, unfortunately, like I said, they're all sold out. But what a lot of people actually skipped on this mask because the 2.1 is literally right around the corner. Like, the 2.1 is going to drop much sooner, I think, than people expect. I'll say keep your peepers peeled, because that bad boy we are on the cusp of the 2.1 coming out. Just today, early today, Billy Obey, actually, I think it was on the AXE Instagram, they dropped this preview little image. I'll throw a little image up here. It looks awesome. I'm not entirely sure what the hell it is. All I know is that it looks cool. My guess is that it's a mad ball in the shape of the AXE head, the 2.0 face. It looks sick. I can't wait to get my hands on that. But yeah, I mean, by the time this video comes out, they may already be up on Walmart. They may already be sold out. I don't know, but they look sick. I'm keeping my eyes peeled. I'm refreshing Walmart like everybody should be every day anyway, because you never know what's gonna drop. Heck, the Zippos came out in between the time I released my last video and this video, and those are already out of the web store. So things come and things go so quick. Anyway, I got a bunch more stuff I've got to open. I said this last time. I've got a mask from Hunter Farley I'm supposed to open. I've got a mask from Tim Todd I'm supposed to open. I've got a bunch of stuff I'm supposed to open. I got a package from Billy Obey that I'm supposed to open. It's just been crazy. With all this stuff going on and everything, it's just been a ride, yo. Thank you, everybody, for subscribing and liking and watching the videos and stuff. Again, thanks Lee Carver, Billy Obey, obviously Joe Black, everybody, Pretzel, Jay, Cam, everybody at Forever Face Alley. It's been crazy. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I got another video coming up next week, sooner rather than later. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you Zooligans later.